Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday. Are you ready for Sunday morning coffee with me? I have my coffee right here. Bucky the Beaver, me, you, Sunday morning, a nice quiet house, lights I forgot to turn on, but it's Christmas time. You see that? It's pretty cool, huh? Oh, and I've got something to open today, too. I've got something to open. I got a package in the mail. We're going to open it. We're going to open it together. I'm excited to see what's inside. It's a big glare. How is everybody? How are we doing? We're going to see who's here in just a minute. Super excited for all of you to be here because it's one of my favorite days of the week. I am feeling better. Feeling better. Evelyn's here. Good morning, Evelyn. United Carnivore. Greetings from Tampa Bay, he says. John Gugahan is in the house. That Dustin guy is late, you know. Andy is here. Good morning, Andy. Give my love to Susan. You're still in Florida, is what she's saying. They're still in Florida, the hotel. She has a headache from hell, hoping Mucinex can kick in and help function today. I know all about it. Mucinex has been my friend for like the last week and a half. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Brian Doyle's in the house. Good morning from a hotel in Nashville. 1 week to go. That's right, you're working in Nashville. That's pretty awesome. Hope everything is going well, my friend. Matt Franklin with the Disney Magic. Good morning, everybody, he says. Yeah, Andy is not feeling that great today, having some sensory issues, listening mostly, because it hurts to read my phone. Cindy's in the house, everybody. Everybody be good, be good, be cool, be cool. Cindy's here. Evelyn's saying hello to people. Of course, Cindy says no coffee. Gross. More coffee for me. We got a new coffee maker. I'm not sure how I like it. It's small. It's just an espresso machine because our Nespresso K-Cup combo machine, we've been to like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. And they just crap out after a while. They last about a year, and then they just crap out. Jeff Foltz in the house. Good morning, Mr. Foltz. Jeff. Rockin' Keto Amy is in the house. Good morning, Amy. Amy's super amazing. If you don't know her, you do now. Her name is Amy, and she's rocking. Yeah, everybody's like, how was the cruise? I saw like hot tub time and and hanging out and things and the pizza stuffs and all the normal cruise accoutrement. Or if I'm saying that right, whatever. Whatever. And he said it was the best week I've had in years. Well, I'm so glad for that. That's just one of those things like you just need some good time. Yeah, Cindy says she saw some pics. It looked like a great time. Friends, activities. Joe and Rachel have a great close community, and it was really fun. Our host with the most is tardy. You know what? You know what? You know what? At least Rick is here, Mr. Quack Quack himself. Darkwing Duck is here. Rick is here, Darkwing Duck. Uncle Big Guy is here. Good morning, Mr. Big Guy. Jewel is here. If you can't be on time, I'm out. I'm sorry. Oh, my goodness. I've had people complaining this week over many lives about the idea that I have, or they're watching the replay, that I have a countdown. Okay. I'm just doing the best I can here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I apologize that I'm late. I let you know that I'm going to be late. You know what? I'm doing this for free. So uh, you know, let's see. Yeah, things happen. Yep. Carnivore K's in the house. Carl's in the house. Oh, yeah, here's the guinea pig. The guinea pig is here. Oh, good. It's giving me enough time to clean up the kitchen. I think I will stop at Buc-ee's on the way home Friday. Do it. Mr. Gugahan has said he was digging the groovy grapefruit from Salty. I like the cherry chill, but was expecting it to be better. I like the cherry chill. It's a lot better than I was anticipating it to be. Coffee here in my Galaxy's Edge travel mug. Yes. I was super thrilled with Galaxy's Edge. We went through and I think it's the best experience at night. I think the lights and everything just make it so much better at night. Our coffee maker broke yesterday, and we had a spare old one that my hubby fixed in the closet. I ordered another brand new one to put in the closet. We have a Hamilton Beach combo machine. We were looking at we have some like my sister-in-law, Chandra's sister, and her husband up in Wisconsin have a super bougie, fancy, like just a regular, like it's a espresso machine, but it's like $700 for that machine. But it makes the best coffee. I'm afraid to get because that coffee is good and it's strong, and you don't need like super fancy beans to make it. They just buy like the big bag of Costco beans, and it comes out with the best coffee. Like you're just drinking it, and it's just like angels are singing, and you're just like, ah, you know what I mean? John Gugahan says, my cat knocked over my Christmas tree last night around 1 a.m. It scared the bejeebus out of me. I bet. I'm new to salty and loving the grapefruit too. Yeah, dangerous. Yeah, the countdown is helpful. It means the stream is running. Yeah, that's the thing is like, and I see a lot of the streams that don't use a countdown and they just start and you miss something and there's no way to get it back because it just starts recording, but it like doesn't come through the stream. So it makes sure that everything that I say is when it starts, and you hear everything I say. And when you watch the replay, you can just skip it. And I can't edit it. If I edit it out after the fact, which I could do, I can go into YouTube and edit out the intro or the countdown, but then you lose the chat. So you as long as you keep the stream intact, you can always go back and look through the chat. So like if you're missing people or say somebody you know in the chat is not with us anymore, you can go back and see their chats and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of cool to keep that alive and it kind of sticks around with it. So I think that's pretty awesome. Mm. Very hot coffee. All right. Alrighty. Let's take a look at this package. I have some scissors over here. Some very small scissors. I'm going to open this up if I can use the scissors here. Any guesses to what this might be? Let me know in the comments below as I'm cutting this open what you think it might be. I have an idea what it is because I can feel the package. It's from Cindy, by the way, so don't let her be all like, hey, I guess it's this. Because she's probably going to be right. It's from Cindy. It's from Cindy and the guinea pig. There's a card. There's a Christmas card in here. I'll read it first. So basically, it's telling me what's in the package. So I'm not going to give that away. but as a Christmas card to me, Shander, and the family, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Cindy and Brian. Somewhere where it'll see it. Let's see. Cover up Stitch for right now. There we go. There we go. All right. The back of it and the front. How awesome is that? That's pretty awesome, everybody. Thank you so very much. I'm gonna put it up where I can see it. I don't have a way to put it up where you guys can see it all the time right now, but I got it here right where I can see it. I see it right here. Thank you so much, Cindy. I truly, truly appreciate you and Brian very much. I'm very glad you're in my life. Matt says, Dustin, I'll be sending out a package to you this week. Well, I'm excited to see it. I can't wait to see what you're sending me. Evan says, my hubby has Spotify and we will be able to catch you with Gourmet. Yes, I will be live with Gourmet. Well, not live. I recorded it Friday night, but tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my episode of the Fat Guy Forum with Gourmet will be available on Spotify. I'm super excited to see that, or anywhere you get podcasts. But for some reason, he doesn't have it on YouTube. He doesn't upload them to YouTube for some reason. He should, but he does not currently. So he's got 200 plus episodes. So it's pretty amazing. I think he's coming up on 300 episodes. Yeah. So Jeff says, countdown is good. It gives me time to skip the ad. That's the thing. So that's another reason, because this isn't a monetized stream. That gives us an opportunity to let you guys skip the ads and all that stuff. Yes, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? I'm so glad you sent it to me. It makes me all like emotional and stuff. Thank you, guinea pig. Love you too, Andy. Feel better, please. Yes. And one of those things is I have been making, and I'm willing to make things for people, YouTube creators and stuff. I've made stuff for Amy, and I'm willing to make things for other people. I like making stuff. Ugh, I got a little bit of a runny nose. Just reach out to me and we can work something out. As Amy knows, Amy and I have worked together, and I've made her stuff, and I continue to make her stuff. I go back and as I learn something, like when I made the initial intro for Amy, I was freshly learning how to use some of those things, and I don't think it turned out the way I wanted it to. She was happy with it, but I'm a kind of a weird perfectionist type person when it comes to making things like that. So I went back, and once I kind of got better at utilizing those tools, I went back and cleaned it up and remade it for her and sent it out to her. So, it's just and I make little things like I've sent out a bunch of people these little little YouTube, little quick little 5-second, 6-second little videos that's like YouTube logo, and it spins over and it's your logo. And I want to make those for people. So yeah, if you want something like that, let me know. I like to play around. Yeah, Amy's like, I don't have should thank saved her so much time. She doesn't have much time for that kind of stuff. I even made some for Heath. I made a little video for Heath he's going to be using. And I made them, I made a couple different ones. I even made some for Chris over at Keto Chow and Salty. Because they're little fun things to make. And I just want to, it's a little kind of a fun thing to make. And it's cool to send to people like, hey, here's something that, I thought enough about you, to put this together. It's just something fun for me to do because I care. A way to give back to you guys. I even been trying to help Cindy with a new logo. I know it can be a very challenging thing. And I've been working very hard too. So December 22nd, Chris and Victor and I will be doing episode 2 of oh man, I don't know why I have such a trouble time remember. I have like the keto live stream that we do together. Woo! It's the day today, boys and girls. Let me tell you what. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so the stream that we do together, I've been working hard making new intros, making an intro and an outro. Because when you're trying to do a stream like that, especially one that so many people are going to watch, really the countdown, I understand that people don't like the countdown. It's a 30-second long countdown, and I've had plenty of complaints. But I mean, there is a reason for those, and it's an important reason. And so, I did try to, put a little, I did a voiceover in the intro that you'll see on December 22nd. So Sunday night, December 22nd, Victor and Chris and I will be going live again, and we're going to be talking about plenty of awesome stuff. So be sure to join us. And my brain is completely shut down, and I cannot think of even what our live stream is called. Oh my goodness, I need to look it up because I'm having a serious brain malfunction right now. How is that even for anybody? My brain is like, you know what? You don't need this information. I'm telling you what. Yeah, I'm really stumped. I don't even know. Yeah, the crusade, the keto crusade. Oh my goodness. If Chris is listening right now, he's probably yelling at the screen. You don't know what the name of our stream is. Ooh, it's early and I haven't had enough coffee yet. Oh, let's see. Yeah, so I did. People are screaming it. It's the Keto Crusade. Yeah, you're welcome, Heath. Oh my goodness. He says you can see all 3D made for me today at the MSG 207 trailer. Oh, here, put all 3 of them in there. Okay. Yeah, Keto Crusade. Yeah. Sean Bradley in the house. Sorry, I'm late. Slept in this morning. Oh my goodness, I was late too. Don't worry about it. It's going to be the 22nd. It's the 22nd. So Cindy's asking, when you have the countdown and have AdSense, if it blocks the ads, it doesn't block the ads, but it gives something for the ads to play over so you're not missing the stream. So the 35 to 40 seconds, the 35 seconds or whatever it is it usually enough for you to get and skip the ad. So you can, the ad will play a little bit and you can skip it. And then you can be right back in with the stream and not miss anything. So that's really the function of that. Yes, next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I already have it up on my, I already have it up. So, yeah. Matt's asking Sean if he's still coming down next month. Heath, you are not wrong. So maybe it's sensitive with the term crusade as well as using the yeah. So I was utilizing some help to write out the description and everything for us. And it was saying, "Hey, do you want to be? You can be a knight in the Keto Crusade." And I said, "No, no, no, you cannot. You cannot be one of those." I did not come up with the name of this. This is Chris's brainchild. Um, so we are running with it. That's why you can be a champion of the Keto Crusade. So we're trying to be very cautious and trying to keep, things a certain way. I don't know. It's just everything is very sensitive these days, and I'm trying to be very mindful of that. So, but Shander has the same concerns. Yeah, and Jeff saying sleeping in can be very beneficial. 1000%. And Sean said he hasn't been sleeping very well lately. I understand that. Sometimes getting a good sleep is very difficult. Yeah, and Cindy's asking if you're doing okay, Sean. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But I am excited for you guys to see the stuff that we've been working on. I put together the intro, the outro, put a lot of work into that. So I'm super excited for you guys to see that. And I'm excited for you guys to hear the podcast that I was on last night or Friday night. It was interesting because it's not often that I am doing something like that without video, a video component. For the longest time, podcasts were audio only. And then all of a sudden, things like, Joe Rogan kind of came out and he was audio and video, and that kind of pushed the boundaries of everybody kind of going video and live streaming and all of that. So not having a video component was kind of a different experience for me. And I had to actually use headphones as well. Because I use studio monitors in my office when I'm on a live, and the programs that we use, the live programs that we use have the ability to block out audio that way, so you don't have to wear headphones because they're very uncomfortable for me. But yeah, talking about how about a good night to work out dinner? That sounds amazing. That sounds something that I would be jealous of. Scott's in the house. Platte River Keto. Good morning, friends. He says, "I am truly glad you were here, my friend." And Sean says, "Doing okay. Just really busy with the holiday season. I've been missing all of you, though." Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult to track people down. Like, Friday night I did that podcast recording. I took about 2 hours, so I was able to kind of stop in and say hi to Cindy and her live. And then after the fact, once I got done recording the podcast with Gormy, then I had some stuff to do. Then I popped in and said hi to Keith and Shelly for a little bit. You know how it goes. But yes, tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, check out my live stream on the Fat Guy, or not my live stream. Check out the podcast that I am a guest on with Gormy over on the Fat Guy Forum. That comes out goes live at 8 p.m. And you can find that on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts. And then next Saturday, the 22nd, or I can't get any of the words to come out of my mouth correctly today. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Next Sunday, Chris, Victor, and I will keto crusade right back into your hearts and your living rooms, live and direct. And we'll have a super good fun time. Yeah, it goes live at 8 p.m. It's just on forever and ever. It's ready. He does it at 8 p.m. on Sunday night, so it's ready for people in the morning. So the Monday morning commutes and stuff, people can listen. And I've been listening to, his podcast, and it's very, there's one of those things is there's not a lot of, and this is something that we maybe, and probably will be, and kind of the reason that we started the Keto Crusade in the first place. There's not a lot, and correct me if you see it differently. but I see not a lot of, male focused, you know, information out there that is not gym or bodybuilding related, or fitness related. That's more like eating and food addiction and mindset and that kind of thing related. The things that truly impact me and have impacted Gormy and a lot of us in the community. And I mean, it even comes down to most of, I look at the analytics, most of the people who watch my channel are female. Um, it's more than 50%. And and I just, my thing is, I understand that there's a lot of males out there who are like me, who are struggling, who don't have any answers, maybe don't even have an outlet. Because, in the podcast that we talked about, I don't want to give anything away, but there were some topics that we talked about that if you don't have access to community, who do you talk to about that? There's things that, that I went through in my journey, getting to be over 400 pounds, living at over 400 pounds. There's things that happen in the background that you don't tell people. There's things about being that large that you just don't talk about. How do you bring that up? You're not sitting in a work meeting and you're like, "How was your weekend? How was your weekend, Susan?" "Oh, I took the kids to the da da da." "How was your weekend, Dustin?" "Oh, I realized I couldn't poop in my downstairs bathroom anymore. I don't fit anymore." How do you I mean, that's just a topic of conversation that just never comes up. Who do you talk about that stuff with? And I appreciate the fact that I have an overwhelming number of women in my community that are here to support me. But there are sometimes you just want to talk to you want to talk to that person. You want to have kind of that close knit group of guys or whatever it is. And I'm not trying to be, gender specific or anything like that. But I think there's just a camaraderie that kind of comes with you're just like me. You have experience just like me. And it's just one of those things that I don't know why my thing's always messing up. Never wants to do what I want it to do. There we go. But there's just the specifics about things that, that you just want to make sure that you're talking to about specific things. And Rick says, "There's no one like me." Yeah, but you have now come into a community full of carnivores who eat primarily meat. You eat primarily meat just because the meat that you eat is typically duck. The meat you eat is fowl, okay? And lizards. You eat fowl lizards. But you understand what I'm saying is, if, and then there's, like it's some of the fitness bros and things out there that are people that are in this space who've never truly been severely overweight. Don't understand. Like you can talk to them about it, but they may not get it. And that's truly one of the reasons, why I wanted to do these things because I know how I felt. And I didn't know how to express it until I met people who had been through similar experiences as me. So it's just one of those things, and I'm really glad that we're able to kind of push this forward. And so not to alienate anybody, but I want to be inclusive, and we talk about that in the podcast of how inclusivity and community is paramount to me. And I hope it comes off as genuine because I think sometimes when you're listening to a podcast, it's almost like you're trying to sell something because you want people to come on in. I really, you know what I mean? But legitimately, I hope it comes off as legitimately as, and passionately as I feel it. So yeah, and he says they got to meet Gormy a few years ago at KetoCon. That would be I haven't yet to meet Gormy, and I can't even remember. Like we talked about a little bit. I was like, I don't even really remember for sure the first time I kind of found out about him. I know it was a podcast somewhere years and years ago, but Then Rick says, "Well, I have never been overweight. That's why no one takes me seriously." And I don't not take you seriously. So people in this space who have never been overweight and have found a way to eat that's sustainable, that other people are looking to for guidance, you have an experience of doing this for a long time. So people can look to you and go, okay, the possibility that this is sustainable is true. Now, you are also somebody outside of the normal because of the duck and the iguana and all the stuff. And and I know that that's not necessarily the full encompassing of what you eat, but it's just one of those things, you know. Yeah. Yeah, we're looking forward to meeting you guys in person. Sean, thank you. Cindy really loved the video you posted last night. That was so funny. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Evelyn, I've been sitting on this news. And for those of you who do not know, I don't have good news for you. If you are a fan of Ketopalooza, if you had not yet been to a Ketopalooza and were looking to attend Ketopalooza 2025, but unfortunately, I have to break the news here that there will not be a KPL 25. Now, that does not mean, as far as what Autumn has said, that there will not be a Ketopalooza 26 or 27. But my fear is if we go without one for 25, then it'll be easier to not go back to it. And I haven't really expressed that concern before now. And I understand the need for her to take the break because if that's what she needs to do, then that's what she needs to do. But I wish there was a way to continue it because because KPL was bigger than Autumn. Autumn and Richard were the lifeblood of KPL. They were the masterminds, they were the creators, they were the originators. But KPL is bigger than them. And they created something that is very powerful and something that the community desperately needs. So not having fully fleshed out any ideas, it would be kind of cool if they would do something like if you wanted to, license the name in another state or something like if Ketopaloozas could happen in other places. But I know that that's probably not going to be a thing because Autumn likes to really be hands-on and really get, you know, her hands dirty and she wants to maintain that control. But I think that the lack of a KPL in our community is going to be a very big detriment to our community. Beyond the fact that it gives me or that gave me something truly to look forward to each year. A massive weekend where I get to see a lot of people that I don't get to see in person. People coming from all over the world. Truly, we had Canada and South America, truly an international festival or international conference. People from all over the country because the United States is very big. And there are other conferences, but there are other conferences that are more like sciencey sales pitches to me, where it's more product focused and more science focused, where KPL, if you're not familiar, if you haven't been to one, is much more community and family focused. And I think that's truly necessary for our community. And I hope that Autumn goes and does Ketopalooza 26, 27, 28, because I truly need that in my life. I don't have the capability of pulling something like that off in Indianapolis. I understand the undertaking that she goes through every year. I understand the financial responsibility that it goes into to pull something like that off. I understand that the complications that we saw and the difficulties we saw with things happening at KPL this last year and the year before, with with the hotel, with the conferencing and all the things that were happening. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of capital up front. I mean, it takes a lot of capital up front. We're talking like, I don't know any specific figures. I don't even know if she's ever mentioned it. But just looking at the numbers of what, the ticket sales would be is like 60 to $80,000. So we're almost looking at $100,000 to make Keto Palooza happen. Not to mention the money that goes into the hotels, for us to rent a hotel, Airbnbs, travel, accommodations, food while we're there, going out to dinner. There's a lot of money involved. And it's totally well worth the money. And I was thinking, well, what can I substitute KPL with in 2025? And I don't know if there's anything that's truly worth my time. That's that, I mean, I was looking at like the Keto Orlando. I think they renamed it this year. Keto Orlando is a different name this year. And it's like a VIP tickets for the weekend are like $300. You can get them for $150 or whatever. But that, there's more interactiveness with the $300 tickets, and that's kind of like the idea behind Keto Palooza is you're all kind of in there together. And that's kind of like you start looking at, well, how can I get closer to that KPL experience where you can be in the same room and interact with the vendors and the speakers, and there's just and then there's a lot of like more science-based conferences like, low carb San Diego, low carb down under in Australia. I know there was one in Breckenridge, or it might be Denver now. I don't know for sure. There's a lot of these conferences out there. There was KetoCon. Now it's Hack Your Health, and it's not going to be in Austin anymore. It's going to be in Tampa. So things are changing. I don't know what I can do. I have a very small voice in this community. I at least have a voice, but it is a very small voice. I don't know what we can do. I was even looking yesterday because, as you guys know, we do a meetup twice a year here in Indianapolis, in the Indianapolis area. And the place that we rent is $100. It's not conveniently located. It's even like a 45-minute drive for me. There's no cell service. It's a very small town. Parking and logistically, it's not the greatest. But we can accommodate 100 people, and it costs $100 to rent it, and then we pay for the food, and then we clean up after, and we can make it happen. There's an event center that's not far from where I live now, and I looked into it, and Jennifer Lucas called yesterday. Mr. Gugahan, have a great day, sir. We'll miss you. Have a good day at church. Be safe. And it was like $1,500 for 8 hours just to rent the building. And then if you want tables and chairs for everybody, and any kind of other things that happen, quickly it becomes like $8,000. And that's with us catering it in. So we would bring the meats just like we normally do, but for 8 hours, and it only holds 200 people. So the logistically, like I was, I've been thinking about this and talking about this with Chandra since the announcement came out. I understand why Autumn loves the Galt House. The Galt House is a gorgeous place. The location is pristine. You're within walking distance to a lot of things. But inside the Galt House, there's a lot of issues. We had the catering issues and all the things that that went on. And obviously that's of no fault of Autumn, and she works very diligently to make sure that doesn't happen and chooses words and contracts and all that stuff to try to make sure that that doesn't happen. But it's still going to happen because not the way that we look at things isn't the norm. So, you know, understanding her financial burden up front and what it truly takes to bring an event like that together, the Gold House is sort of a magical place because I don't think even in Indianapolis we have a place that works like that. We have a lot of hotels, we have a lot of conference space. We're a conference mega center here. We have a huge conference complex. We have Gen Cons and all these things. We have all the horror conventions and all these future farmers of America and firefighters and all these things that happen here in central Indiana. But someone like me that doesn't have a lot of money trying to go into a space and start something like Keto Palooza from the ground up is beyond out of reach at this point. And yeah. Let's see what's going on in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where I'm at here. A lot of it I missed. It looks like I'm seeing there's a lot missed here. Let's see. Scott says, as a guy who started my own journey almost 500 pounds, I really appreciate your story, and I really appreciate Gourmet's podcast as well. Yeah, and I think there's so many, even if you're listening to somebody who isn't doing keto, isn't doing low carb, who may be doing Weight Watchers or calorie counting or whatever, there's going to be things that you can glean from them that you respond to, that you understand, that really hit home for you. And that's what I want to do. And that's one I'm going to keep doing. So Amy says, I'm devastated about KPL. Really depressed. I was so pumped for KPL 25. It's where I met all of you. Yeah, 100%. Seeing that news was just like a gut punch. But I just don't know what we can do at this point. Yeah. So Sean saying, same sentiments here. Brian Doyle says, I'm here with 17 other guys from all over the country. They think I'm cheap because I bought an air fryer, cook burgers and pork belly bites and eggs in my room every night. I mean, you're probably eating better than them. Even if they think they're having a good meal. I mean, Yeah. News is true said I think she's going to be hunting a different venue for 26. I hope so. I honestly hope so. And I know the chances of her watching this live stream are probably zero. I mean, there's nothing is actually zero, but you understand what I'm saying. But I'm really pulling for 26 because KPL, I didn't even really know what it was going into 23. I kind of went just because I had met Don and Mike and James and Emily and Jackie and Jennifer Lucas and everybody in that community was going, and I didn't want to be left out. And I went and had one of the best times I've ever had. And then 24 was even better. And then so now and I was thinking, 25, yeah, I cannot wait. So I truly hope that this doesn't just kind of fall by the wayside. Because the things that worry me is she's backed away from her channel. And this is all speculation. I don't know Autumn very well at all. We've met 3 or 4 times. I've met her at the KPLs, and I met her at a Low Carb for Better Health in 23 as well, very briefly. So, and I mean, just interacting with her on our live streams and such. So we don't know each other very well at all. And we don't interact outside of YouTube or any of those conferences. But what she did is paramount for my life. And, I hope I know she knows that. I know she understands that to some level, and hopefully, and I just kind of wonder, like she's backed away from her channel. She's not putting out videos. They're not going live anymore. I know she's got a full-time job. She's a full-grown adult. She's got a whole life to live. Her and her husband have a life. And she's like, I know she's training, doing classes at teaching fitness classes and such. So she's got a full plate. And then you add on a conference like KPL, and that's a year-round job for a 3-day weekend. And I understand that it's got to be exhausting just thinking about looking into the logistics of making one happen makes me want to take a nap. But I get worried because she has backed away from the YouTube channel. She has backed away from all of that. And now we're not going to be seeing any updates about KPL 25. We're not going to be interacting about that. Not that to look forward to. I just kind of wonder if it becomes easier to not even bother. So, and I try not to be a pessimistic person. If you've paid attention to my lives for any length of time, you'll understand that. But I mean, this hurts. And I mean, and I understand, I see a lot of sentiment, everybody deserves a break, and that's 100%. Because like I said, I fully understand. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't know exactly what it's like to be her and go through and plan and orchestrate that full event. I mean, I can imagine. I know the financial burden. I know one thing that I knew I wanted to do for Keto Palooza 24 was help the only way that I truly have the ability to help. And that was mention KPL every live at any opportunity that I had. Because awareness sells tickets. And if somebody wants to go, you're going to be there and they're going to be there and you were there too. I want to go. So what can I do? There's nothing I can do to help her organize. There's nothing I can do to help do anything leading up to the event, but run my mouth. And run my mouth I did. So, oh my goodness. Yeah, Brian says that he does it so he doesn't have to eat crap all day. I understand 100%. I don't necessarily think it's that. I think there was just a lot of stress that came from running it this last year and the year before. There was like running out of bacon and them not listening to her, and there was like trash cans overflowing, and I can't remember if that was this year or last year, but just seeing trash cans not being emptied, things happening with the staff that they shouldn't be doing. There was the people coming into the conference who didn't belong. There was just things that were happening. We need to start Iguana Palooza. Yeah. She hasn't been keto for a long time. I would say she's still low carb, and I'm not trying to speak for her, just kind of going based on the information that she had provided in her lives. But she's also kind of one of those people that if she wants rice, she's going to have rice. She wants to do it, she's going to do it. And she's trying to be happy with who she is. And again, I'm not trying to speak with her. I'm just trying to just trying to provide information as I got it from her. So, you can go back and look at all her lives and her videos and stuff leading up to KPL 24. So, I mean, they stopped going live long before KPL 24. I think they stopped going live maybe July or May. Something like that, maybe. Because I used to stop this live in time for people to go over and watch her. So, Good morning, Becky. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. Joe from 2KK mentioned he's considering filling the KPL gap to get together of their own. Yeah, I understand. That's cool and all. And but they're going to be doing that in Florida, and Florida's hard to get to. I mean, Florida's far from just about everybody. Florida's like that corner down there. You know what I mean? And and not to say that Louisville was close to people, but I mean it was close to me, and it was a 2-hour drive for me. And Midwestern, it wasn't that far for a lot of people to get there. And it's not Florida. I think with Florida comes its own kind of issues, I guess. And I mean, I hope they do. I would go on their cruises if I had money. I would go to any meetup they had if I had the money. If I had the money, I would throw my own conference, even with Keto Palooza in the mix. If I had the money, I would just throw money at the problem and be like, let's do this. We have gorgeous hotels downtown here. I mean, there's so much to do in downtown Indianapolis for the most part. And I know that they could use the business. I mean, we've got a Fogo de Chao. I mean, we could do a meetup at one of those places. We could do all that stuff if I could figure out the logistics. And, I don't think I could get a loan for $60,000 to put down for a conference with hopes that enough people would buy tickets. I don't think I have seeing the time that it takes to sell those tickets, even for someone like Autumn, with Joe and Rachel helping, with Dr. Barry helping, and Maria Emmerich and all these people that she had involvements with, seeing that they had their reach, and it was still kind of like, will she, won't she sell out kind of thing. I mean, I pushed and worked to make sure and mention things long before the speakers were ever announced or confirmed or started doing anything. So I would just say that, as someone, I feel I don't have the same reach. And that's not me being self-deprecating or anything like that. I just don't have that reach. I mean, you can tell by the, posts posts I make don't go that far. I don't get the views. I don't get, I mean, I have a core group of people that come in and hang out with me on these live streams, but that's not enough for me to be able to go and invest and make a conference happen. And then having the relationships with the speakers to draw speakers that would draw people in who would be interested in seeing them speak. There's just a lot of moving parts, and I just don't think I have the reach personally. And I know that other people, other creators, have already started talking about their ideas of what they would like to do. Joe and Rachel being one of them, and then other people have told me things. I would like to see that, and I'll be involved in whatever I can be involved in. But I don't have the reach myself to pull it off. I have the aspirations to be able to do it. I would love to be able to say, you know what, we're going to, no KPL in 25. We'll do one in Indianapolis, and it'll be huge. It'll be great. It'll be the best one ever. But I don't have that reach. Amy says, John, hopefully it's up north or similar region. Not planning to go anything that requires flights because flying to Florida in May already. Yeah. Somebody was asking if there was an event in Indianapolis. We're doing something in May, like May 24th, I believe. It's I don't even know if it's up on lowcarbevents.com yet. Because there's so many things that aren't solidified about that. Like Joe and Rachel have talked about being in town for that to come and hang out with us, but I don't know for sure. And yeah, so I mean, it's too early for that. Becky's here. Let's see. Becky's saying hi to people. Make sure I don't miss anybody. John Guggenheim, we said goodbye to. Yeah, there's the Horde, the Hungry Horde hangout in March is going to be happening in Columbus, Ohio. So I am looking forward to that. And I don't want my sadness for no KPL 24 or 25 to overshadow that. But it's one of those things like, KPL is it's a big piece to me. And I've only gone 2 years, but that's two fantastic weekends, and I just really don't want it to be over. But it's just as it starts to get going for me, I don't want it to be done. Yeah, Evelyn says they're going. Becky says any event planned this summer. Yeah, so I'm trying. I don't think we have anything in July. We have things in May. It would be great to meet you too, Becky. Heath, are you thinking about adding that to the low carb events? Andy says, I'm back. Something happened. I took a shower and I feel much better. All that pressure on my head is now gone. I'm really relieved and to be feeling better. Well, I'm so glad you're here, baby. Doll. I don't know why I said that. I'm used to talking to a toddler. So, yeah. Andy, I don't know what's happening. Let's see. Listening at 2x to catch up. Amy's off to church. Well, see you soon, dear. Thank you so much for being here. Be safe. He says KPL is one of my favorite events. She bills it as family reunion. That's exactly what it feels like. Yeah, 100%. And Matt says, I honestly can't imagine all the logistics that goes into pulling off an event like KPL. It boggles my mind. I think the idea of making it work, like, we did our first meetup and we made a list of all the companies that we wanted to reach out to see if they would help us with goodie bags. And just that, just reaching out to companies and then not hearing anything back is ridiculous. And she does that. But that's the thing, like, those things could be doled out to us. There's a lot of us who would be willing to take on, like, I have relationships with these companies. And then, we've got, obviously, Keto Chow is already in the bag. Salty is already in the bag. Probably Keto Brick. And there's a lot of those things. There's a lot of those companies that are already familiar with Keto Palooza. And I was already working with, I had mentioned to Fahad over at KG Foods to try to get involved with Keto Palooza 25. He could set up as a vendor. He's got a fantastic product. I think people would really like it. And I think he would really get a benefit out of being involved and being in the space and getting a chance to meet a lot of people. But unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to be a thing that's going to happen. But he says, my only issue is the 3-day weekend cost me as much as to go on a 7-day cruise. Yeah, but I think so I look at it like this. It was expensive. So the first year I covered the cost of the hotel by myself, even though I ended up having Adam room with me, but I got him a free ticket to get there. And then this year, he bought a ticket and helped me split the cost of the room. The cost of the room and the parking was like $400. The cost of the ticket to get into Keto Palooza, $200. So we're like, we're there for $600. So that's $600. And then the food while I was there, the transportation there and back, car ride there and back is like $20 because it's 2 hours. My car gets pretty good gas mileage, so that wasn't an issue. Food, $80 for the Brazilian steakhouse, probably another $100 for the rest of the weekend, probably with coffee and all that stuff. So realistically, I'm in about $800. I mean, the money for $800 versus the experience, the memories, the fun, the laughs, the hangs. just the ability to be in the room with people that I only get to see this way is invaluable. Now, I mean, if it was $2,000, I couldn't afford it. But I mean, it was right at that price range where I probably couldn't afford it at that price, but I had to do it. So while I understand that, for me as a single person splitting it with somebody else, it's cheaper than if you and Shelly come and then you have to find a place to board your dogs or whatever it is you got to do, and you're driving or flying in, and yeah, the logistics become very expensive at a certain point. And yeah, a 7 I would much rather go to KPL than a cruise. If KPL was on a cruise ship, I would do that. But the idea of being on a cruise ship isn't necessarily the biggest draw for me. I mean, I would like to go on a cruise one day. I've never been on one. I think the experience is probably at least one thing I want to do at least once. But yeah. And that's why you're here, Rick, so you can glean experiences from others who will do things that you won't. Um Scott's off to Ruck. Ruck with the dogs. Happy Sunday, friends. We'll be ear hustling. Well, thank you for being here. I'm glad you were listening. Yes, we here in Florida are far from everyone. Yes, go and watch Autumn's videos. Start getting those views up for her. Maybe she will maybe she'll notice, maybe she won't. I don't know. We love Autumn. We really do care for her a lot, and we're glad she's in our community. And I hope that things work out for KPL 26 and it doesn't just kind of go by the wayside, kind of out of sight, out of mind. I really hope that that's not the case. And I imagine that she's probably pretty torn up about it too. And like, I don't want to belittle, I don't want to, make light of the situation or make it seem like, oh, woe is me. But I mean, it really impacts me. And I want to be honest with my emotions and my feelings with you guys. And I know, and I'm sure it wasn't a lightly taken thing for her to not do it. So, yeah. Karen's in the house. Good morning, Karen Harrington. How are you doing? I just feel like Field of Dreams. If you build it, we will come. I mean, it's nice in theory. There's a lot of money involved, and if that's like, you know, that's like a bit like these days. That's a down payment on a house. It's a lot of money. Charlie says, "Good morning. Got some Kobe brisket smoking, then thin Kobe steaks in the sous vide. You live a good life, Charlie. You live a good life." He says, "The ward and I have been kicking around the idea of hosting an event in Houston, but I don't know if anyone really wants that." Yeah, again, I mean, it just comes down to the logistics, really, for a lot of people and how much money I have. And this is I understand, that's why Shane and I have talked about once our cats are gone, we're probably not going to have animals because as much as I think we would love to have an animal in the house, I think, we look at these giant dogs and they're gorgeous and we would love them. But then when you start to plan something like going on vacation, it just becomes such a logistical nightmare for when our kids go on vacation with us, someone's got to take care of the dogs. Someone's got to be at their house to take care of the dogs, let the dogs out, clean up after the dogs, feed the dogs. We've got cats. So we can, put an extra bowl of food out. My brother comes in every other day, make sure they have water, and we're good. They're okay. Clean the litter box before we leave, and they're fine till we get back. There's my friend Chris Cook in Nashville. If you listen to the early thing, I could not remember the name of our live stream. Woo! I could not remember it to save my life. I couldn't remember Keto Crusade. It was not in my brain. I had to go look up. I had to go look it up. Yeah, I'm not proud of it. But yes, good morning, Chris, Ash, Mel. We love your faces. Baby doll. Okay, that's fine. I didn't mean to say it, but I mean, I just call low. The girl, baby doll all the time. She goes, Paul, why do you call me that? Just, and I'm having a day. I'm having a day. I'm having a day. Chris says, by the way, y'all, I got carnivore waffles coming out next Saturday. My version of chaffles. Really excited about that. And what other things can I do with it? Delicious. Everybody says, that sounds amazing. Maybe we call it a bucket of nut jobs. I mean, somebody would find offense with that too. I don't know. I think it's an uphill battle. Oh, my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, teens of all ages. How are you guys doing? What's happening? What's happening in your life? What's happening in your world? Oh. Oh. Oh, my ladies and gentlemen. I wonder, how are you guys all doing today? Oh, let's see what's going on. Karen is here. Karen from Low Carb Spin. Good morning, Karen. Evelyn is finishing a 36-hour fast at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. You're almost there. You've got 14 minutes. Count them, 14 minutes. Probably. So Cindy and the guinea pig made this for me. It's a coaster. Cindy, put the link where they can order something like this for themselves. Whether you want to order a coaster like this one with my face on it, or one with your very own, or any of the designs that they already have. So many possibilities. It's amazing. Truly, truly, truly just so very thankful to have all you guys in my life. Chris says, a woman in tears struggling with issues thanked Ash for what we do because she's been so pushed aside by dogmatic men who don't get her hormones and said, eat meat, get over it. It's a real issue. Yeah, that's the thing is, I mean, sometimes it just really does take that understanding that, I mean, fundamentally, humans on a basic level, we all need meat, protein, and some kind of sugar. The debate on the sugar part is, where does it derive from? Is it something that gluconeogenesis is enough for? Should we be intaking fruit? Whatever. But that's neither here nor there. But there are 3 macronutrients. But then above and beyond that, we're all vastly different. We need the basic human nutrition, and then we got to figure everything else out. So I'm not one to say, it's not working for you. You're not doing it right. You got to find how to do it right for you. And I don't know if Brian is in, or if Brian Doyle's still in here. And I know he's been struggling for a while. And don't think I forgot about you, Brian. But we've talked at length in our chats here about some of the issues that he's facing, and seeing things happen. And he's been doing everything he's been told to do. And he's just on a journey to try to figure out, of everything he's been told, what's actually right for him. And I think just as it's important for women to be able to communicate with other women, men need to communicate with other men. Even outside of the gender specifics, just people who have been in similar circumstances, like people who have been who have been deployed overseas, need to talk with people who have been deployed overseas. Police who have been involved in police things need to talk to other police who have been involved in police things. Firefighters, nurses, doctors. You think when Chandra gets around her nurse friends, they just don't blab about their nurse stuff? Because they need to talk it out. Now, she can talk to me all day long about her stuff, and yeah, she can commiserate to me, but I don't have the ability or the experience to truly understand what she's feeling and what she's going through. Am I a good spouse and listen and try my best to give her what she needs? 1000%. But I'm not a nurse. And I don't live that day in and day out like she does. So while she can call me and talk to me, and now she can say things to me that she can't say to the other nurses, which helps. But having that ability to talk to another nurse is huge. So, and I, like when I say that I need to talk to a man about something, it's not, and I know that we're in a very sensitive time, and I don't want people to think that I'm being, disrespectful or anything like that to other genders or anything like that. But just that lived experience, we have to find others with our lived experience to talk to. Because I know that I'm not alone in the things that I've gone through. And I know there's people out there who are just like me who've been through things or who are going through things right now that I have been through that are struggling and think they're alone and have no one to talk to about it. That's what I'm talking about. It's not necessarily gender specific, but again, vernacular and how do we communicate that? So let's see. What do we got going on here? Cindy's put her email address out there, cindydemanch23@gmail.com. If you want to order coasters, earrings, anything that they make, cutting boards, reach out. Evelyn says this week, 5 back on with 1 extended fast a week, minimum 36 hours. I feel amazing. Handling stress better, lots of inflammation gone, and I can't believe I ever stopped. I need to start maybe looking into something like that. I'm planning a fast for the beginning of the year. Probably will not be the first or second day of the year. We've got a lot of things going on the first week. I mean, obviously, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We've got a comedy show to go to on the 2nd. So we'll probably start maybe the 5th or something like that. It's my life. I do what I want. Nothing's going to stop me now. Chris says, absolutely. Communication, understanding how others aren't like you and supporting them and listening kindly to what they're struggling with is vital. Sadly, too many people have lost that ability. Yeah, you see that all the time. You see it in Facebook groups and message boards and, Reddit and Discord and all these places where people can communicate. The humanity gets lost. I think, I even said something like somebody asked in a carnivore group the other day, and I'm not just picking on the carnivores, but they asked in the carnivore group the other day, like, what do we eat besides meat? And then everybody just blew up at it. And I'm like, do you want people to just walk away as soon as they ask this question? Like, we don't need trolls here. Well, how do you know they're a troll? And if they are a troll and you think they're a troll, just give a blanket answer, have, like a penned answer and move on. But in the off chance that person is not a troll and they're legitimately asking, What else can I do besides meat and maintain carnivore? People don't understand things. People just aren't as well versed as you. On your first day, did you get it? I know I didn't even understand what a carb was when I started this whole journey. And I'm very open about that. I didn't know what a carb was. I didn't even know like how many carbs you're supposed to have in a day. We weren't even thinking about carbohydrates. We were looking at things like sodium. Well, that's got a lot of sodium in it. We should probably avoid that. Oh, this doesn't have enough fiber. We should probably avoid that. Oh, this has got a lot of fat. Probably should avoid that. We were looking at things completely differently than we are now. But we had to get here. And that journey takes the first step. And that first step is coming into a group. It's probably not the first step, but you get my idea. Coming into a group, asking the hard questions, and then getting attacked? Why would you stay? Why would you think that's for you? You've already had a hard life. Being overweight, being sick, these are hard things to deal with. People take pity on you. People look at you like you're less than. And that's hard to deal with. You're dealing with the adversity of the interactions with other people. You're dealing with the adversity of day-to-day life as a big person. You know, am I going to fit in this booth? Am I going to find pants to fit me? Am I going to find shirts that fit me? Am I going to be able to get enough to eat at this restaurant? Or if you're gluten intolerant, you know, am I going to go to this restaurant and their gluten-free menu is actually going to be gluten-free? Or am I going to have an episode? I'm going to be in pain for the rest of the day. These are things that people deal with on a day-to-day basis, and going in and asking for help shouldn't be an attackable offense. That's why I am so vocal about we accept everybody here. I don't care if you're carnivore, keto, Weight Watchers, vegan, paleo, whatever. I don't care if you only eat ducks and iguanas. You're welcome here. Everybody's welcome here. Your lived experiences are valuable. You're valuable. You're important to this community because you bring something to the rest of us, whether it's someone that we can commiserate with, someone who knows something that we don't, something that's shared, something that we didn't think anybody else has been through. So if we're not open and accepting for everybody in this journey, how can we move forward? Still struggling there with a little bit of the cough and stuff, but you know, forgive me. Oh, let's see. Sean bought a knife from Chris. That's amazing. Brian said, I have actually cut out all sugars for the last 45 days, no artificial or natural substitutes, and no weight loss yet, but average glucose on my CGM is down almost 10 points. Fantastic. I love that, Brian. Thank you for sharing that. Chris says, Cindy and Brian's coasters are awesome. Got some in my YouTube cave, and they're great. Fantastic. I love it. Are you not doing electrolytes? Are you not doing the unflavored ones? Because like the clean slate is good from Salty. It's just the electrolytes, no sweeteners, no additives, just the electrolytes. And he says, that's amazing, Evelyn. We'll talk after we get back. I need to get back to stuff. Fantastic. Consistency is key is a great title. Much easier when people are kind. No, please pick on the please pick on the carnivores are the worst of the dogmatics. Well, I don't want like I don't want to just because I don't want to become, you know, oh, the keto people or the blah blah blah. You know, I just don't I don't have time for it. I see a lot of that, and I talk with Shander about this. We talk about things that I see. And the things that I see are different than the things that she sees. Okay? So I see things from of a perspective from a lot of people that I have on my friends list on Facebook, the people that I have curated into Twitter. So I have a specific perspective and how I see things and the people that come across. And that's different than her perspective because she's not friends with most of the people that I'm friends with. I have 1,200 people on my Facebook. She has like 100 or something like that. And don't ever take offense if she doesn't accept your friend request on Facebook. She doesn't accept very many people. So don't ever take offense if you've sent her a friend request and she doesn't accept it. She doesn't really accept anybody very much. She has very limited Facebook friends. So to her, Facebook is more private than it is anything. So again, don't take offense if you've sent her a request and she didn't. Yeah. But yeah, like, so we talk about things. I'm like, oh, I saw this. I've seen it like this. She goes, well, I'm not seeing it that way. And then we have that discussion like, well, the way things are curated for me are showing me things. And I see things. I try to see things from both sides and in the middle because, I mean, why not? But things get skewed. Algorithms being the way they are, they're going to show you what you're more likely to look at. So I try to keep that in mind, Not being dogmatic sure could help save a lot of people in the world. And I understand where dogmatic comes from because people that are very good, people find something that is life-changing to them and they want to share it with the world, be it religion, diet, a product that they found, whatever it is. There's people are going to shout it from the rooftops. It's so difficult. My way is my way is the way. And I was like that for a long time. You got to do keto. You got to do keto. Well, keto, I mean, there's people out there who just won't do it. If they're not going to do it, how can you get them to do better without doing keto? Be accepting of who they are, and hopefully they will take lessons from you. Cut out some of the sugar, cut out some of this, cut out some of that. So, I just think that being mean to people and not understanding the other side is kind of how we get to where we are. And where we are now is very precarious. Look at that. Two crazy ketos in the house. Good morning, you two. Good morning, everyone. This live is finally late enough for me to watch it on a Sunday morning. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate you both very much. I hope you enjoyed your cruise. I hope it was a successful cruise and lots of fun memories were made. I've seen photos and videos, hot tub time and all that stuff. It looked fantastic. And hopefully one of these days I can be in attendance to one of those cruises. People saying hello to Rachel and Joe. I imagine it's probably, oh, it is Joe. It's Joe. Welcome, Joe. Oh, I love you guys so much. Joe and Rachel are amazing people. Could you imagine Joe and Rachel dressed as cheerleaders? That'd be amazing. That's a video that needs to happen. Not necessarily like the old SNL sketches with Will Ferrell and I can't think of what her name is. I just saw her in a bunch of shows. She was in she was in a lot of episodes of Will and Grace we were watching. But yeah, that'd be amazing. Let's see. Sean says, "Oops, Joe. Look for everyone had a great time on the cruise. It looks like everyone had a great time on the cruise. Are you back in Arcadia or in Southern Florida?" They've got like a super tight schedule, so they could be in Alaska by now. We don't know. Oh, just daily minerals. Okay. Good morning, Brenda. Thank you for being here. Chris says, mistreating someone who's different than you, think differently, likes different foods, or struggles different than you is the thought process that leads to prejudice and then discrimination. 100%. How do we move forward and try to make as many people healthy if we're gatekeeping everything? You have to be carnivore. You can't have pepper on your food. You got to be keto. You can't have that keto bread, or you can't tell people what to do. You can't shame them for what they do. Somebody is like, I found this thing. Oh my goodness, probably the greatest thing ever. And you've already been there, done that. And you're like, dumb. That doesn't help anybody. Never helps anybody. Carl says, we have to make adjustments to our diet as we discover more about our bodies. The healing process reveals so much. We must respect people's questions, even if a troll, someone else may need the help. The thing is you can still, if they're a troll, they may not be understanding. They may think they're just being funny. They may still learn something and take something away that may help them in the future. I don't know. Have a great day, Karen. Thank you for being here. Cindy with $10. Oh my goodness gracious. We love you, Dustin. Thank you for all your cheerleading getting me where I am now. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations again for getting monetized. 1,000 subscribers, over 1,000 subscribers. Hitting that 4,000 watch hour mark is very difficult to do. Truly proud of you, your dedication, your resilience, your perseverance. Truly proud of you, and thank you for being in my life. I truly appreciate you. And Joe says, cruise was great, lots of life change. Our group of 64 people pretty much took over every place we went. Yeah. That was like that happened to us at KPL last year. The Thursday night we had planned to go to the Brazilian steakhouse, and we'd only planned for maybe 10 to 12 people. I want to say we had close to 40 show up. We took over like an empty section, like the whole section. It was pretty jaw dropping that something like that would happen. Like we were planning for 10 to 12, and as we were walking down the street, people were joining us. It was the weirdest thing when we get there, and the line to get in with us was like out the door, and we took over the entire section. And like we got there, and Russ was already there, and he was sitting with some people, and then we took over like 5 tables, like 5 long tables. It was pretty impressive and kind of like heartwarming and like, really, that just happened kind of thing. No, it wasn't Tina Fey. It was the lady that would do the weird stuff where she would like do this and then go. I can't remember what her name is. Yeah. Good morning, Victor. Just woke up. Coffee time. Oh, coffee time with the Bucky's cup. Mm. Everybody, welcome Victor. Victor is an amazing human being. I'm getting to know him very well. Lengthy chat sessions that we have. And Sean says, I went to a veterans group outing last night, seeing all of those other people eating all the food I used to enjoy, all of the adult beverages I used to enjoy. Yeah, that's just one of those things, like, it doesn't bother me much anymore. It bothers me more when the kids bring stuff over. When the kids bring things, like for Thanksgiving, they brought rolls and macaroni and cheese and stuff to Thanksgiving. That's more difficult because it's in my confined space. And it's it's much more difficult than going out to like a restaurant or a meetup or something where there's things that aren't for me. But when it's like in my house on my table, it is a little more difficult because like that's kind of like your sanctuary. Like we don't bring stuff in the house that we don't want to eat. And there are things that we do bring into the house that the girl needs, that girl wants for breakfast or whatever. And I've been buying more of the low carb tortillas, these little tiny ones. And I've been making little taquitos for her. Super simple. I need to make a recipe video about them. They're just super simple. but they're dangerous. They're low carb, they're fine, but they're on the little tortillas, and it's good for her because she's gonna eat maybe one and a half, and then she's gonna run around like a crazy person for the rest of the day. But for me, I can sit and eat 20 of them because they're delicious. So that's an issue. Well, it's a low carb food, but it's an addictive, easy to eat food, and I can eat 20 of them because who doesn't love taquitos? We were at Costco and they had samples of them, and she kept going back and getting more and more. Like, okay, she really likes these. And at her age, finding foods that she will eat and eat consistently is difficult. She eats eggs, so we feed her eggs every single day. And luckily, she hasn't burnt out yet. But, she's like, we went through a phase where she was having like little ham sandwich, like ham and egg on the little tortillas, or ham, egg, and bacon on the tortillas, or something like that. We try to incorporate a meat, eggs, and something, some fruit for her because she really likes fruit. But then those taquitos, I made a whole tray of those the other day, and I packed up everything that she was going to want, two for her lunches each day, and then some for the morning time when she gets there to warm up for her to eat. And I ate the rest. I can't. It's just one of those, like, they're so good. They're low carb, but they're addictive. Yeah, Joe says that they got back from the cruise yesterday and they're up on the farm. Well, it's probably very nice to kind of get back to that, but again, not because you're going to be running like a crazy person, like your life is normally like. Your stuff makes me tired. Did your animals miss you? Did the chickens and roosters and I don't think you guys have goats yet, but I imagine you'll end up with goats eventually. Good morning, Miss Lucas. Chris says, I'm excited to see your video we chatted about, Cindy. I'm looking forward to it. I like all the videos. If I can, finding the time to watch them all is difficult. Stephanie is here. Good morning, Steph. Let's see. What you said made me think, Dustin. The dogma issue is this. If you have the answer, does that make you want to help others? Let's see, out of care, or make you feel like criticizing like you are better than them? I think it's a delicate line to walk, isn't it? I think this is a question that is a very delicate line. Like, I think I've had to kind of wrestle with this since I found keto worked for me. Because when you find out that something like keto works for you, then you want everyone to do it. And I would push it and be like, you need to do keto. You need to do keto. People were like, you're dumb. And I'm like, And then you get to a point where I think I am now where keto probably would work for most people if it was sustainable for them. And I'm not saying that keto isn't sustainable, because it is. But the fact that it has to be sustainable for that individual, they have to be in the right mindset. They have to be ready to live for a complete lifestyle change. And they're not always ready for keto or carnivore or lion diet or ketovore or Weight Watchers or whatever. There's a mental component that they have to get ready for. They have to get ready for that. And they have to find and look for themselves. And there's a lot of work involved in living a new lifestyle. There's a lot of work involved in living a ketogenic lifestyle. I had to look at myself and, really come to terms with, for the first time, my food addictions, food issues that I have, food scarcity issues that I always had. Am I going to have enough to eat? Am I going to go to this restaurant? Am I going to pay this money and they're going to give me enough food? That's a weird way to live. But I had to come to terms with all that. I had also to come to terms with, how can I make this lifestyle sustainable for me? And I had to understand, who am I? What makes me tick? What's going to work? What's not? Because if I'm just going to go in and try to do it exactly the way somebody else does, it's not going to fit me. If I'm going to try and eat everything with a lettuce wrap and eat salads and, all these things that I don't really much care for, it's not going to be sustainable. because I don't much care for it. How do I incorporate the foods that I want, that I like, that are going to make me feel my best and keep me on track? Finding out what keeps me on track is huge. And I think it's grossly overlooked because we look at just the diet component, we look at the carbs, the macros, because you can sit there and say, you can go so many times you see influencers and people that'll say, as soon as I went keto, my hunger issues went away, my satiety went through the roof, and I hardly ate anymore. Well, I was a person that found that, but it took work to find it. Like for me, I was putting in it took a lot for my satiety signals to truly take hold. I was drinking one of these every day, this size coffee with a half a stick of butter and 8 tablespoons of coconut oil in it every single day. That was like 1,100 calories of fat every day. And then I would pack my lunch. I would overpack my lunch because, again, food scarcity issues, food addiction issues, and the fear that I worked in an office that if I didn't have enough food, if other food came around later, like if we were sitting there and they go, surprise, we bought you pizza, and I had to say no to the pizza and not have something to eat in those early days. If I had a couple extra boiled eggs and maybe some pepperoni, some string cheese, something like that, that I could put in my mouth and put in my body while they're eating pizza, because I'm sitting there smelling pizza, I had to plan for the worst. And I don't think that that's something that's talked about enough because, especially when you're coming from a place where you're over 400 pounds and you're trying to navigate this whole new world, and everyone's telling you, well, you don't even need to eat that much anymore, you know, and or you're not, your hunger's gonna go away. It has, but I've been doing this 8 years now, and it's taken work. It's taken a lot of self-reflection, a lot of me getting to know someone I didn't know very well, me. A lot of things that I didn't want to see about myself. And I think that comes a lot, when you are getting bigger. As you go from 200 to 300 to 400 pounds, you're going from double X to triple X to 4X to 5X t-shirts. You don't want to see that. You obviously know what's happening because you're making those purchases. You're buying bigger and bigger pants and bigger underpants. And you're able to navigate life less and less and less. You know these things are happening, but you ignore it, you overlook it, you deceive yourself, you make excuses, but you're also uninformed of the fact that it's not necessarily your fault. You're not fully to blame because I was hungry all the time. I just couldn't go without eating very long. I had to eat, and I was hungry all the time and I had to eat a lot of food. And then there was the addiction issues. There's the addiction aspect of it as well. But as I started the ketogenic lifestyle, and I did go through that, and I did find that, and I did put the work in, and I have figured out a lot about myself, those things begin to happen. And I think it's so very easy to be dogmatic and be very easy to say, this worked for me, it's got to work for you. And if you're not doing it, you're not trying hard enough. My nose is very itchy. But like I said, it's a very thin line, and I think it's taken me a long time to figure that out and to be better about understanding what works for me and what works for you may be very similar. They may be really different. And I've got to be okay with that. And Steph says that she's very sad about KPL. I am devastated about KPL. And if you watch the replay, then you'll understand. Yeah, Sherry O'Terry, that was her name. Yeah. Thank you, Joe. I knew it was I just couldn't remember her name. Hit the like button. Sean says, let's see. We also went to a hibachi place last Thursday for a work outing. I told them I wanted no rice and no sauce. They put the sauce on mine anyway. I was pretty disappointed, but ate it anyway. Yeah, sometimes it just happens. Just like you're out at a restaurant and you say, Diet Pepsi, and they bring you a regular Pepsi, and you don't know until like 3 or 4 big swigs in. You're like, ugh. It happens. It's not the end of the day. Your next meal, right back where you need to be. Silly dogs woke me up too early going back to bed for a while. Well, have a good nap, Heath. Karen says, I think you need to urge everyone to do anything other than the standard American diet. Yes. People agreeing with that sentiment very much. Let's see. Carl says, everybody's bottom is different. Each of us respond differently when we hit rock bottom or hit that bottom. Each of us get honest about ourselves in different times and usually at different levels of honesty. Yeah, 100%. And Andy says, I confess that I ate a few non-keto things on the cruise, but I ate them early enough in the day, so I burned them off when I walked. I walked an average of 5 miles a day during the cruise. That's awesome. And Chris says, addressing the fear, the pain, the self-doubt, even self-loathing, so much more is vital. I never could have gone carnivore without the work to get there and the clarity as I healed. Yeah, 100%. And he says, I'll get back on track because our house doesn't have this stuff in it. Yeah, that's the thing. Jen Lucas says, I've learned I need to eat slower. After dental surgery, I found eating slower allowed me to get those satiety signals on less. I guess I was previously outpacing the hormones. Yeah, I try to eat at a medium pace. I don't like to eat too fast. And Chris says, I hated myself. I was 400 pounds. I needed help. I knew it was bad, but I had no tools to do it. That's why what we do matters so much. But it must be spoken in love. Otherwise, you can't hear it. Even sometimes spoken in love, you can't hear it. If you're not ready to hear it, you're just not going to. I mean, there's how many people in my life, were truly worried about me and I couldn't hear what they were saying. I knew what they were saying was right, but I didn't hear it. I didn't know how to fix it. Nobody had any solutions. Eat less, move more. All you got to do is work out and you'll be fine. Eat less, move more, eat more salads. You know? Rick says, I just changed the fan belt on my Bobcat. That's not weird. It's fine. Yes. Now that we're resting and still in Florida, I just want to get home and get back to life. Back to life. Back to reality. Carnivore K, you have a blessed day as well. They've got to go. Have a good day. Let's see. Cindy says, I get that, Andy. And when we go anywhere, it's nice to get back to home. Yeah, just like even at the end of the day, just laying in your own bed. Like there's nothing better than your own bed. No matter how good, like we had an Airbnb in Alabama and they had like a better bed than we have. Like we actually bought a new bed because of this bed, but we didn't get that one. It was like the Serta Black or whatever, some ridiculously like $4,000 mattress. And we laid on it. It was amazing. We got the silver, and I'm actually glad we got the silver because I think it's better for us. So many videos. Yeah, I just think that, what we do is so important here. The fellowship and, the community and the communication and what we can glean from each other. We just have to be open to it and have to learn to listen to each other. And not just us in the community, but everybody. I mean, I know that you've been in the grocery store just as I have and seen someone's cart full of trash and you're just judging them. I know, like, or like the people that are in like the little drivey scooters at the grocery store, and they've got bricks of Mountain Dew and cookies and candies and all this stuff, and you're like, if you would just do something different than this, you wouldn't be here. But they're not ready to hear that yet, and it sucks because you can't just go up to strangers at the grocery store and go, "You want to get out of this? Well, I've got the plan." You just can't. Can't even do it to your family. You can't do it to your friends. All we can do is lead by example. And I've had plenty of people over the years who have come to me and, in a message and said, I haven't really posted about this, but I've been doing what you do, what I see you do, and I've lost this much weight and I've changed this and I feel better. And that truly hits home too. Because people who aren't commenting on your stuff, people who may be watching from a distance, they aren't commenting, aren't liking, aren't, reposting or sharing your stuff, may still be watching it, getting a huge benefit from it, and not telling anyone. But they're still doing what they need to do to better themselves. The teacher appears when the student is ready, or someone figures out how to work portals. I don't know. But I am excited that Victor and Chris and I will be live 8 p.m. next Sunday night for your viewing pleasure. Keto Crusade returns 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me, Victor, and Chris Cook in Nashville. Victor from Southern Keto. We're going to get together. We're going to have a good time. Julie the Pines is here. Good morning. Yay, you're still live. I'll be watching the replay. I needed to hear this today. My mom died the week before Thanksgiving, and I've been having trouble staying on plan this week. Truly, truly sorry for you, for your loss, and my deepest condolences for you. That's very difficult to deal with, and I understand it. I don't think if I had to go through my mom passing again, like even on, because when she passed in 2013, and I was not anywhere near keto, and I know, like, I'm sure I put food through its paces that week, and I don't even know if I could be on plan knowing how that feels. It's truly devastating, and have no real words of comfort for you. Nothing makes it better. Just time, unfortunately. Just I don't know. My mom's been gone since 2013, so 11 years. So it gets easier to deal with, but I understand this is very new, and like, nothing but my deepest condolences for you. And thank you for being here, and hopefully, you know, you will find your way. You know what you need to do, but don't be overly hard on yourself, because now is not the time for that, okay? Excuse me. Jennifer says people on diabetes and heart disease Facebook pages ask for help daily, yet most aren't ready to change. Some are, and I gently put my foot in the open door. Yeah, I mean, even somebody the other day had asked something about their eczema or their psoriasis or something, and they're like asking about a specific medication. And is that, like, anybody's thoughts on that? And I just put a comment in there, and I know I probably shouldn't have, but I just was like, I've heard that people see full remission from going carnivore. And then, you get the ubiquitous kind of like emoji or whatever about it. They're not ready. I mean, people don't believe it because it's even with our medicated society, we don't even believe that the medicine works because it really doesn't. So the fact that there's something that's not medicine that can make us better seems crazy. Like I was talking with Victor in text last night. We were talking about oxalate dumping. And I was like, oxalate dumping, if I didn't know better, I would just think was fake. Sounds made up. I mean, I guess there's still like people going back and forth on whether it's truly a thing or not. I don't know. I'm not the smartest person here. But I mean, the fact that I can go and just eat hamburger and steak and my psoriasis will go away. Okay. Okay, I got a plot of land and wherever to sell you. You know what I mean? It just seems like people aren't ready to believe what has been told them is not true for their entire life. People don't want to know that they've been lied to. Like the thing is it's easier to lie to someone than for them to find out that they've been lied to. I think that's the quote. There's a quote about that. I don't know what it is. Sean Bradley, thank you so much for the $10. I truly appreciate you, Sean. Your message of just doing the best you can has really helped a lot of people. It makes it much easier to forgive yourself when you slip. It really helps hearing it from people who have been there. Yeah. The thing is like beating yourself up doesn't do anything. Is being 100% going to be better for you? Probably. But we're all human and we can't live our lives like beating ourselves over every little mistake we make. And I'm not trying to give people permission to go and eat bad things because you're all adults. You don't need that from me. You're going to make your own decisions. And that's what I want people to know is they need to make their own decisions. Figure out what's best for them because some people can have a weekly cheat meal and be fine. Some people can't even do a cheat meal every 6 months. Some people can't ever have a cheat meal. Some people can do, one twice a week or whatever it is. Some people just can never. But that's the importance of understanding yourself and being honest and open with yourself. Because if you're one of those people that just can't have a cheat meal without going off the rails for 2 weeks, then you got to be open and realize that you just can't do it. You got to work to make your life sustainable in a way that you can get through that and remove the obstacles that get in your way the best you can. And I truly appreciate you, Sean. And these super chats mean the world to me. They really do. And I'm glad that people are here and that people are listening and they're hearing what I have to say. And then what I have to say isn't just me being a crazy person rambling on the internet. Because sometimes I feel that way. So, maybe I am a crazy person on the internet, but Cindy says, it's rough when you see someone, especially a family member or two or more, when they don't take your advice, regardless of the fact you showed them what success looks like. Our kids know. Our kids have seen us. And they're like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We don't have the money. And I'm like, I can show, like, no, we're not going to do it. They just don't want to. They don't want to. They're not ready. And if you're not ready, no amount of logic, reasoning, or anything in the world is going to make a difference. Pleading, begging, shaming doesn't work. And I kind of wonder in this day and age, and I don't want to get political, but like, is that how you want people to change, by shaming them into being different? If you have to make them feel bad to be a better person, does that make you feel better? So I just don't understand that. Just, you know. Sonny's here. Good morning. So glad you are here. I'm having troubles today. My nose keeps running. Sean says, if you're crazy, you're our kind of crazy. Well, I'm glad I found my tribe. Carl says, that's how I describe you. This crazy person on the internet. I agree. I agree. I am a crazy person on the internet. Chris says, anyone using shame and criticism to try to change someone has never helped someone fight an addiction. Yeah, you can't. I mean, no amount of shame. I mean, shame is a powerful deterrent, though. And I'll tell you this, but the shame always came from me. The idea, so I one time that it's really one of those things that sticks out in my mind very vividly. I was out with some friends, and I was the only big person in the group. I was like, and I was also kind of like the fifth wheel. I was up with two couples, and we had gone to dinner, and then across the street there was like a yogurt shop. And we went to the yogurt shop, and I got myself the yogurt, the frozen yogurt or whatever. And I got mine with the chocolate fudge and all the stuff on. I'm sitting there eating it, and they didn't have to say anything. And I don't even think they probably weren't even thinking anything about it. But I felt shame. I felt bad about myself because I'm sitting here or sitting there eating this, being fat, being overweight. They're not. I got a bunch. They all got normal size amounts or whatever. I wouldn't say I got a crazy, I didn't get like a carton or anything like that. It was the same size cup that they did, but mine was more full than theirs or whatever. But nobody shames you worse than you do. You interpret things from so many people that have no real bearing on you. At least that's how I feel. It's like if you text a friend and they don't text you back for a day or two, and you're like, well, they're probably mad at me. They're probably busy. They're not mad at you. But in your head, you're like, well, they're probably mad at me. They probably think I'm stupid now. They don't want to talk to me. They want to be my friend. And these thoughts creep in to everybody, I think. So you start thinking about the food, you start adding food addiction and being overweight and your own self-doubt on top of it. And you're out with your friends, and they're obviously friends of yours. They invited you to go with them, and you've been hanging out all night, having great conversation. And then all of a sudden you're sitting there just eating ice cream and you're feeling terrible about yourself. And you're like, they're going to think I'm so, like the shame just soaks in. But it's all I mean, they didn't say anything to me. They didn't even probably even look at me weird. But I felt it. And almost can 100% guarantee it was all in my own head. It was all for me. Yeah, the worst shame that is comes from yourself, 1000%. Let's see. My middle works in addiction recovery with first responders. Shaming the guys is never the tactic used by the team. It drives them deeper in depression and addiction. Yeah, I mean, you just can't do that. Addicts often don't feel guilt or shame. If I cheat, I don't care. Well, I don't necessarily think they don't feel it, but that addiction takes over. And when you get into real, true, like opiates and such like that, I think you get into those kind of addictions. That takes over, and your body just goes, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. I need to get what I need to get. It doesn't matter who I hurt, who I alienate, who leaves me, who leaves my life. All I care about is the next thing. At least with food addiction, If you feel bad about eating in front of your friends too much, you can go and have a gigantic meal before going out, have a reasonable sized meal in front of them, and then probably grab a whole nother meal on the way home. So it's just one of those things. It's just so deep. And Chris says self shaming is definitely the worst, and that's plenty. Definitely don't need it from others. Yeah. No one's going to hate you worse than you hate yourself most of the time. Carl says, I have to learn good, healthy behaviors without relying on feelings. Yeah. And when you figure it out, let us know because it's difficult. Even when I know better, the feelings sometimes creep in and you're like, oh, that stressful feeling sometimes. Mm. Sean was saying, I was just trying to shame Shell for something and she flipped me off. I guess it doesn't work on some people. I love you guys. Uncle Big Guy says, howdy, Sunday Chronicles. Just looked up your channel. We need to check out your zebra video. Sean, I'm pretty sure the rules work completely different when it's husbands and wives. Yeah, it truly does, Chris. Oh, my goodness. You guys are awesome. Yeah. And I just think that that's what's important here is us united. We're stronger together than we are individually. You know, it's like we want those people in our family to do better, be better. We want, people that are struggling with different things to want to do better for themselves, but they also have to want it. They also have to know that they need it. I don't know. Oh, again, I just want to say thank you to Cindy for this awesome coaster that I'm going to keep forever and ever in my office and look at it every day. That's super cool. I want to say thank you again to Cindy for the super chat, for Sean for the super chat. You guys make it so awesome, and you guys make me feel special. And everybody who shows up and hangs out with me every Sunday. I'm trying to look at my schedule here. So I know that tonight at 8 p.m. on the podcast platform of your choosing, Gourmet Goes Keto's podcast, the Fat Guy Forum. I'm a guest. It goes live 8 p.m. It is audio only. I did put a link in most places to Spotify because that's what I use. So if you are also a person who utilizes Spotify, then check it out there. Let's see. This Tuesday, Shannon and I will be live. I'm gonna look at my calendar because I think Christmas Eve falls on a Tuesday this year. So the Tuesday the 17th will be live. Tuesday the 24th, we will not be live. Maybe we'll go live Monday night or something like that, maybe instead. Because Wednesday's Christmas. So we won't be going that day. We won't be going live on Christmas either. And yeah, so the 22nd is the Keto Crusade with Chris, Victor, and I, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us. We're going to have a super fun time. I think that's all. I think that's all we've got right now. I think as far as things that are planned, the new year is going to open up, and we're going to have some really fun things going on. I know March we've got a meetup with the Hungry Horde in Columbus, Ohio. Let's see. I know in May we're having a meetup here in Central Indiana. There will probably be the ubiquitous other meetups in Columbus, Ohio, coming in the year in 2025. Let's see. Chris says, I want to help people. I want to help as many people in the world as I can. They have to be ready, and I don't want them to resent me for how I try to do it. Yeah, that's the thing is I want people to kind of I want to enlighten people, but I just kind of want to show them that they have the power to help themselves. I don't want people to think that I have anything to sell. Because the only thing I have to sell is, things that can make your life easier. I don't have any magic fixes to sell anybody. Whether it's keto chow, salty, any of these things, I don't have anything to sell that's a magic fix. Only things that may make your journey more convenient. So if you are interested in any of that or want to find any of the socials that I have, you can take a look at ketosimple.shop. That's where all my socials are. That's where anything and everything that you may want to purchase from me as far as affiliate links are concerned. But again, I have nothing magic to sell you. Only things that may make your journey more pleasant, easier. And Cindy says, "Oh, you are special." I'm aware. Yes, Chris is very well said. Chris said it the best. And Andy says, "That's why I started my channel 5 months ago, and I'm glad you did. Stick with it, and you'll be monetized like Cindy." So, again, congratulations to Cindy. For over 1,000 subscribers, she hit that 4,000 watch hour mark and is now fully monetized. So she can make pennies just like us. Oh, let's see. No Christmas live? Where's your commitment? Oh my goodness. I would go live, really, you know what I mean? If yeah. Chris is going to hold a very special live stream the morning of New Year's Day, January 1st. We'll hold a lot of announcements. Spoiler, he's going vegan. Let's see. Andy says Safe Harbor live in June, but I don't have the date yet. 2025 calendar is not open yet. Late June, please. My birthday's the 25th. When in March and where? Columbus somewhere. Matreya's already got something going on. She's already got a venue booked. I don't know if it's on low carb events yet, but I know it's somewhere. I know there's a date. There's dates somewhere. I don't know for sure. I was waiting till after 9 so I could put keto brains in my coffee. Delicioso. Evelyn says, vegan. Are you and Brian going to be live on Christmas Day, Cindy? Christmas Day is Wednesday. It's just going to be me and Brian. We could go live, but I'm sure no one will join us. You never know. Not vegan, for shame. Yeah, me and the veggies are a secret love. Man, broccoli with a lot of butter is delicious. I don't care what anybody says. Broccoli's delicious. Roasted Brussels sprouts. Oh, those are fantastic. I love vegetables from time to time. I really do. Sometimes green beans are fantastic. I don't eat them all the time. I have cans and cans of green beans in the pantry. So if everything goes down, I got green beans. I love broccoli. Broccoli's very good. Like, I like a mushy, buttery broccoli. I bet you would think that. But that's okay, Rick. I used to think that. I didn't ever try I didn't like broccoli until I was keto. No butter if you're vegan. What? Broccoli is great carry for butter. Broccoli with plant butter. Ugh. Chris, Dustin's partial to eggplant. Only on Fridays. Woo! Don't look it up. No butter if you're vegan, Dustin. You know what? Do you know what? Mm-hmm. I have spinach artichoke dip that I made yesterday. I don't never cared for that. Kitchen Witch says, Rick, when is the last time you had broccoli? Maybe they've changed it since you've had it. You know what I mean? It's really good with butter. My cat is destroying my bedroom. Well, maybe you have General Tso chicken later. Ah, yes, indeed, it's fun time. Oh, so many amazing members. You guys are awesome. Again, it's very difficult to get all of you on here. So as some of the gifts have gone away, or as some of the gifted memberships go away, it'll be easier to put some of you back on. I mean, I would like to say, please keep your memberships if you're a member, but I understand that not everybody is going to do that. I understand that. Because currently we still have 111 members. Fantastic. All of you members are so great, so fantastic. But I know a good amount of you were gifted and will not likely stick around as members, but that's okay. Cindy says, I gotta go. Deb is here and we need to get moving for the day. Well, have a good day. General So Cat, delicious. And Chris says, I actually enjoy many veggies. They just don't enjoy me. That's true. True, true, true. Rick, you work a lot to be so broke. And I mean, like, where does all your money go? Because you're fixing stuff and making things and you're eating like out of a canal. Like, where does all your money go? I'm just curious. Because you have an old telephone from the 1940s. Can't even text with it. Broccoli isn't the choice of garnish for iguana tails and duck confit. That's true. 100%. Everybody's saying goodbye. Bye to Cindy. She's going to reach out to Victor soon. Property taxes? Do you live in Mar-a-Lago? What's going on? Iguana feed. That's rich. All you lovely people, it's been a wonderful Sunday. Time to walk the fur babies. Catch you later. Take it easy, Karen. I think it might be time for me to call it quits for the day, ladies and gentlemen. It is almost 10 o'clock. We're having family dinner tonight. I want to catch a nap. I have other things to do. I love all of your faces. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you again, Cindy, who has gone for the wonderful coaster. It truly means the world to me that you thought enough of me to make that for me and Brian, for Brian to make that for me and then ship it to me. You guys are amazing. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Do you want me to make it till 10, 8 whole minutes? Okay. I'll hang out for 8 more minutes. Will that make you happy, Evelyn? Is that what I can do this week to make you a happy camper? Oh, yes, indeed, it's fun time. I do still have coffee. Just long enough for everyone to hit the like button. Yes, I do have coffee left. And I also have a Mountain Dew Zero in case of emergencies. Really, I had that just in case I was coughing a lot, and I could have like the bubbles and the drink to kind of help that ease the cough. Dustin proceeds to stare at the camera silently for 8 minutes. Just like, yes. Scott's back. He had a great ruck. Well, I am super glad about that. Hey, Scott. So glad he didn't leave early. All right. Yeah, that's going to be our live stream on Sunday, the 22nd. Just 3 dudes, and we're just going to like this. You know how we do. It was warmer than it has been all the way up to 25 degrees. I think it was like 40 degrees and rainy this morning. Don't make it weird, make it insane. Like, is that what you want me to do? Yes, Uncle Big Guy. Everybody have a wonderful day. You still have 6 minutes. You can hang out, Uncle Big Guy, for 6 more minutes, okay? If I'm hanging out for 6 minutes, so can you. I misread that. I gotta get my eyes checked. I feel that all the time. Sean says, I'm gonna be off the whole week between Christmas and New Year's looking for fun things to do. I will be able to make it to all the lives that week, hopefully. All right. We might even wear pants. And you won't know if we don't. I mean, I'm wearing pants right now. Pajama pants. Julie's watching football with her dad today, the Cardinals game. Well, good luck. Have fun with that. Yes, that's the energy I need. Not me, Chris. I can't go that far. Victor, it's all in the camera placement. Is Ash doing Ash Wednesday on Christmas, Chris? That's a lot of like Ash, Chris. That's a lot of like a tongue twister. Bells will be ringing. I just want Chris to do a cover or like on one of the Ash Wednesdays of Friends in Low Places. I've got friends in low places. Skipping Christmas. That was the name of the book that they made a movie. They made the movie Christmas with the Cramps, but Skipping Christmas was the book. And I read the book, and it was much better than the movie. I mean, how often do you hear that? But it's so true. Her brother will be here. I'll have my hands full. Is he rowdy? Is her brother Rowdy Piper? I'm just saying I can find something better to look at for 6 minutes. uh, to be fair, you should be staring 2/3 of the time. I've got friends in keto places where the bacon drowns and the butter chases my blues away. I do have a face for radio. You have no idea. I have a face for radio. I have a voice for silence. I have a voice for the middle of nowhere. I am watching my cat track. Well, just put him outside. Her outside, them outside. Someone sang that song on the cruise in karaoke. It was awesome. Yes, my fat away. I would love to go see Garth Brooks live. But again, that's one of those shows that I don't want to see it from the rafters. I want to be up front, like immersed in the show. That's like, you go see like these shows, these big stadium shows, and you're like a mile back. You're like, I don't want that. That's not a show to me. I just can't. I need it. No, you have a majestic beard and beautiful dulcet vocal tones. I can do ASMR, and now we're gonna have coffee time, and we're just gonna enjoy each other's company, and talk about our feelings. Maybe I'll make some bacon later, and maybe some scrambled eggs, and I still have some of those keto chow meatball things left in the fridge that I need to cut up and put into some eggs. And I don't know how this makes you feel, but it makes me feel awkward and really weird inside. And I hope that's how you feel too. Sean says Shell's birthday is next Saturday and mine is next Monday. We still haven't figured out how we want to celebrate. Shell has a call that weekend. Well, I hope that you find the perfect things. So Shannon and I went bowling the other night. I haven't been bowling since like 2010 or something like that. And that sounds like crazy because 2010 sounds like last week, but that was 14, almost 15 years ago. And we went bowling. So they remodeled this old bowling alley in our town. And we went, and it's like super nice inside. They've got like an arcade and a restaurant and a pizza place and a full bar. They've got everything. Super nice. It was for our middle son's birthday, turned 25. So we're bowling, having a good time. Then we go and we play skee ball. Skee ball is the most fun. I love skee ball the most. The most fun. Yes. I don't know. How many of you love skee ball? Can we get we need to get together somewhere as a keto meetup and have a keto skee ball competition. Because I've got fat in most places. Yeah, baby. Yeah. When you talk that way, your alter ego was rustling. Oh, your alter ego was rusting at keto sexy. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'll ever make that. I'll never talk like that again. You think of Cindy and the guinea pig when you're bowling alley. I did. I even told Cindy about it. Rick says, I hope one day I have a place big enough to set up my bowling lanes. That would be nice. Sean, that would be a good idea for a meetup for Cindy, a keto bowl-a-thon. Yes. Skee ball was awesome. My favorite game. I mean, there's just not a lot of places that have skee ball. Like Dave & Buster's used to have some of the best skee ball lanes or whatever, but they're gone. And so this place they have 3, and it's like 4.5 credits each. And I think you got 200 and some credits for $20. So it was like we played skee ball till our soon-to-be daughter-in-law or whatever, our son's girlfriend, dropped the card between the machines. So that really ended our fun. But skee ball was missing from Dave & Buster's here in Hollywood. Yeah, that's the thing is there's no. They think they've taken them out of all their. So there's like some warehouse or some junkyard somewhere full of old Dave & Buster's skee ball machines. Steph says, have a great week. It's after 10 o'clock now. I think I'm okay. 10:02. I made it. I made Evelyn happy. I did my service. We had our lunch there yesterday after the cruise. I've been to Dave & Buster's twice or 3 times or whatever. I'm just not a fan. Too many people throwing balls at one another. That sounds like one of those adult-only cruises. We love you guys. Have a great day. You guys are amazing. Without you, this community would be non-existent. And thank you all so very much for spending your day with me, the super chats, the gifts. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. From the bottom of my heart, I love you all. And we'll see you Tuesday, everybody.